So we've just seen the latest episode of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. entitled The Best Laid Plans. First things first, Fitz and Simmons find out that the Zephyr is actually being run by Gravitonium. Now, this is a new kind of Zephyr that they discovered that in the past, though the future for when they actually came from, Fitz does some upgrades to the Zephyr and allows it to fly even in space. I just want to clarify that I made a mistake last time. When Sinara went to them, it wasn't actually the Zephyr she found empty. I thought she went to the Zephyr, found it empty, meaning that Coulson and the others had abandoned it. But it turns out it was the trolley, the ship that Coulson and the others rode to get away from the lighthouse, that she found abandoned, and thus she is now looking for the Zephyr. She eventually does find the Zephyr, though Voss and others are evacuated into some caves, while the Zephyr is taken by our S.H.I.E.L.D. team to go back to the lighthouse and help Mac and the others. So they try flying it to the lighthouse, but then the engines give up and they can't do so. But luckily for them, because of the said upgrades, Fitz and Simmons are able to make a plan wherein they ride the gravity storm, bringing the Zephyr into the outer space, or into outer space rather, and using the thrusters to maneuver the ship from there. Daisy, with the help of Deke, finally gets to kill Sinara. Again, this is another reason I'm thinking that the first half of S.H.I.E.L.D. will see this Cassius saga end, and that our heroes will get to return to the past and face a different threat altogether for the latter part of the season, which I am guessing would be the real person who is the destroyer of worlds if Quake really did not do it. Speaking of ideas of how the world was destroyed if Quake wasn't the one who destroyed it, Fitz and Gemma were talking about the Gravitonium and how they were working on it. So, to them, it was quite possible that the Gravitonium went out of control, and within their experiments, they made some sort of mistake which actually destroyed the world, and it was Daisy who took the blame. Of course, judging by the flashbacks we saw of Fitzsimmons, as played out in Robin's mind, we see that Fitz and Simmons do not blame themselves for such events, therefore they do not know that they are actually the cause, if they are the cause. So like I said, it's most likely the last episode with Sinara because Daisy fights her along with the help of Deke, and we have this scene where I couldn't tell if Sinara was sort of flying upward, or the most likely scenario is that it was a slow motion of her jumping upward, because if not, she would have seen what Daisy was doing, which is pointing a sharp part of a railing at her, which eventually pierced her, like a sword, and killed her. The only way it's possible that this isn't the last episode that we see Sinara in is because Cassius actually brings back Tess from the dead. And I'm thinking that because they are Kree, and that Coulson in the first season was brought back by Kree biology, they could have done the same thing. Of course, this was also mentioned to them by Mac, which I find kinda weird because Mac wasn't around during the first season when this happened. So the reason Cassius actually brings back Tess is for her to be a messenger to them. He wants to tell them that he is actually a god, not just their enemy. That the control he has over the humans' lives is both the ability to take it and to give it back. He uses Tess to threaten the humans to give him the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Inhumans, or that he will eliminate them all. The way he does this, Mac finds out, is by using bombs to blow up the oxygen tanks all around the station, all around the lighthouse, rather, basically incinerating them all with the push of a button. Later on, there's a confrontation between Mac, Yo-Yo, and Cassius. They're able to buy time for the rest of the humans to get the bombs into the 25th level and move the other people up the other levels. Basically, this happens as they are stalling, and when Cassius finally decides to blow them up, they're all saved because an empty level is the only one that explodes. They escape while blowing up his means of creating other Inhumans like he usually had, leaving a very enraged Cassius. At the end, a guard is surprised that Cassius knows that the other agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are coming back to the lighthouse, and he says that they have their own prophet, and he has one of his own. Another surprise waiting for us in the future. Another person I want to talk about here is Flint. Flint in this episode seems so angry, so eager to kill his opponents, and Mac points out that it seems to him as a form of bloodlust already. If this holds true, then this could be another clue to what I was thinking before, that if Daisy wasn't the destroyer of worlds, that it could possibly have been another Inhuman who destroyed the world, an Inhuman with similar powers. And Flint has the power to control rocks, and what is the Earth made of? Rocks, dirt, basically everything within Flint's power. Given a strong enough emotion or a loss of control, it is highly possible, in my opinion, that the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. bring back all these characters, and Flint is actually the person who destroys the Earth in the past. Right now, with all the information we're given, and the fact that why would Daisy go back to the past and destroy the Earth? If she already knows that she's going to destroy the Earth, won't she be able to stop herself in some way? So it's kind of given to me that Daisy did not really destroy the Earth and that it was something else. Quite possibly Flint, or maybe Gemma and Fitz's gravitonium theory holds true. What do you guys think? If you like this video, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more great videos.